nearby.
Yes. We also have 农行. Can you guess what 农行is?
The Nong as in agricultural or farming?
农业 agriculture.
So that would be the Agricultural Bank of China.
Yes, and that will be ABC, so Agricultural Bank of China, 中国农业银行. Don't just assume that when the letters make more sense, like ABC, you immediately think, this is very fundamental. This is supposed to be the first bank that I go to because, it's ABC, it's nice and easy. It's not like that. It's just initials.
Although, to be fair, ABC is one of the biggest banks in China and it's one of the biggest banks in the world.
That's true, but still, it's not because of that. So it's called ABC. It's the Agricultural Bank of China. 中国 China, 农业 agricultural 银行 bank 农 that's the short one, short version. And the last one we're going to introduce, hopefully we're not offending all the other banks in China because there are so many, but the last one we're introducing is 建设银行 or 建行 中国建设银行.
So that's China Construction Bank.
Construction is construction or building, and 银行 we know is bank. And again, 建设银行 建行. And this kind of shortening things happen everywhere. For example, actually, the 5th of next month, we're going to have the National People's Congress of the People's Republic of China, and we call it 中国全国人民代表大会. But in Chinese, we call it 人大. Make it very, very easy.
Is that the Liang Hui?
It's one of the Liang Hui.
One of the Liang Hui, the two sessions or the two meetings.
And Liang Hui is also short for it. Well, that's not true. Liang Hui is the two meetings. All right. So again, just an example about how to make things nice and easy and short in Chinese. Now we found a bank. How to say open an account in Chinese?
So you have to 开户, open an account.
Open an account. Open an account. 开户. And we already know in order to 开户, you need to have a ID. And in China, if you are an expat living in China, you have your 护照 to make sure people know you are who you said you are.
So your 护照, your passport.
护照 passport. So again, we know 开户, we know 密码, and now we also know 设置密码 would be set to your password. What do you want to do if you have a bank account?
I think the first thing you want to do is transfer some money into your new account.
And that in Chinese would be 转账.
转账.
转账. So 转 is actually shift or turn. So you take something to some other places.
Okay. So it's taking it from somewhere else to put it into your account.
Yes. And the character 转 can be used just as turn. It does not really matter if you're turning it in or turning out. And same here, 转账 is transfer money. So it does not really about the 汇款 concentrates on the part that you are putting the money into another person's account. It's possible that you have cash and you save it into another account which is not yours. It's also possible you're taking the money out from your account to another account. But sending money out would be 汇款. And after that, you also have 存款, deposit, save money into your account. For those of you who are confused about 存 and 钱, I think you know, but they are basically the same thing.
Okay, so you can use them interchangeably?
Yeah. say 存钱, they'll totally understand you.
Okay.
存钱, so 存钱 or 存款, so basically same thing.
Possibly one of the most important words you'll need to know after you've set your bank account up is ATM.
Oh, that's an easy one. Just say ATM. Everybody understands.
Really?
Yes.
That's very handy to know.
Yes. ATM is actually 自动取款机. So A is auto, 自动 取款. While 取款 is kind of like withdrawing money.
Like fetching or getting money.
Getting money. And 机 is machine. But actually in China, if you say 我要找 ATM, I want to look left in your account.
Okay.
Exactly different. I think it's because we were introduced with the idea of a credit card a little bit later, and also it was not as popular as in the Western society. So the idea of having a minus balance is very scary. So we always think there must be something left. Hence the person needs something left. And would be the money that's still in your bank account. Alright, these are some common words you might come across if you're dealing with your bank. And one thing I promised is about investment. 投资 investment 投资 and if you 投资 invest you will get利润 and that's the basic words. And there are also some necessary sentences that you want to learn. Just try to remember the shortest one, because actually, if we use those shortest versions, people will be able to understand. So, if you are using Yuan, it's an online payment service, and in China, you can just simply say, Yeah. So, Yuan is kind of like a service, but it's a function instead of an actual card. So, you want both bank card having a function of
Activate online banking.
Activate. So activate would be 开启. So 开网银 would be start the online banking service. You say 我要 or 我想开网银.
So again, the yao is a little bit more direct and xiang is a little bit more polite.
Yes, but just a little bit more. It's fine. For people living in China that do not speak Chinese, most of the times their home is not in China. So sometimes you want to transfer some money back to your home country. And in order to do that, you need to first exchange the money into your country's current. And that is 换钱.
换钱.
It's very easy.
So literally change money.
Change money. So if I want to say I want to exchange $1,000 to yuan, to renminbi, what can I say?
So something like 我要1000美元换成 How do I finish that sentence?
人民币.
换成人民币.
Yes. So 我要把1000美元换成人民币. Oh, that's the other situation. That's when you want to transfer US dollars into Chinese yuan so that you can use here. Yeah, similar idea. So 把 A 换成 B would be change A to B. 把人民币换成美元 change the amount of yuan to dollars.
What does ba do in this?
Sentence structure, that is you, instead of saying I do something to the money, you say to the money, I do something.
Okay.
The object here is yuan. You want to change it to American dollars. And hopefully we're going to you can use in a bank. If there's any other you want to learn, we can start a second episode of the banking expressions, which can get much more complicated. But if you really want to invest or do business, try to find a translator if it's very, very important, if you're signing contract or something.
Yes, but otherwise, if you're just opening an account and doing some basic stuff, do what I did, which is find a nice, helpful Chinese friend who can help you through that process.
Yes, and the best thing is maybe after a while, after learning all these things we've just said, you will be able to do that yourself.
Exactly.
您正在收听的是随行汉语 You're listening to Takeaway Chinese with myself, Niu Hongli, and Carl. For more episodes of the show, you can visit our website at chinaplus.cri.cn and go to the column 你好. You can also listen to the show and read the script on our China Plus app. There are also many podcast platforms where to find us.
You can find us on Stitcher, SoundCloud, or Apple Podcasts.
Or wherever you listen to your podcast. Thank you for listening. See you next time.
再见.
在过去的话，娱乐呀。
Shadow puppetry brought joy and happiness to the public, especially in times when there were few options for entertainment. Most of the stories are morally instructive.
知识吧。
The technique is called carving with moving leather. We put the hide on a wooden board. The left hand pushes firmly against the hide to guide it, while the right grips the carving tool. The key point is that it is the leather, not the knife, that moves.
吹皮。
刀不动。
它可以就是演。
Shadow puppetry is quite different from a live-action stage play. The puppeteers can create an amazing variety of visual effects using shadow and light, making the figures fly in the sky, dive on the ground, or even have their heads removed. You name it.
皮影戏都能给表现出来。
Hello and welcome to Selfie. I'm Tony Reed. Have you ever used just your hands and a torch to make a shadow figure on the wall? Perhaps it was a horse or maybe a rabbit. In China, shadow puppetry is a traditional art form, and in using just light and shadow is probably one of the most ancient. Records of shadow puppetry, which is piying in Chinese, go back more than 2,000 years ago in China. It's a form of storytelling and entertainment in which shadow play artists use silhouettes and an illuminated backdrop to create the illusion of moving images. Vivid designs and a rich variety of colors, change of lighting, and unique singing all combining to create a fascinating world. 40-year-old artist Mao Zhongbo has been making shadow puppets and performing for 20 years. He has been exploring ways to revive the traditional art and pass it on to the next generation. China Plus reporter Yang Yong has more.
Staging their shadow shows in the atrium of a charming small hotel in Shichahai, Mao Zhongbo and his team's work is now one of the hidden gems in Beijing's hutongs, the small alleys and lanes that serve as cultural symbols of the city. 40-year-old Mao inherited shadow puppetry and is now a resident master at the shadow art-themed hotel. Stand behind a translucent screen with a backdrop of traditional folk instruments, Mao Zhongbo acts out the story of a crane and a turtle. He uses his hands to make the crane beat its wings, twist its neck, and roll its eyes. Turtle and Crane is a classic story of Chinese shadow puppetry. In it, an elegant crane saves a frog from getting eaten by a turtle. When the cunning turtle tries to bite the frog, the crane picks up the turtle by the neck and flings it into the water. The animal's vivid actions make the audience forget that puppeteers control them. No one knows sure how shadow puppetry began. One of the most popular stories about its origin, according to Mao Zhongbo, involves Emperor Wu in the Han Dynasty and his beloved concubine, Lady Li.
一般汉代的时候呢，我们就讲这个故事，就是汉武帝那会儿啊，他有一个这个。
It is said that shadow play was invented during the reign of Emperor Wu in the Han Dynasty more than 2,000 years ago. Lady Li, the favorite concubine of Emperor Wu, died of an illness. The emperor was so heartbroken by the loss that he became deeply depressed and lost interest in his kingdom.
他呢，有一天在外边就是走的时候，看见那个小孩儿拿着一些那个小娃娃或者什么在玩，那个影子呢，就是。
One day, a minister called Li Shaowen saw some children playing with dolls in the sun. He was delighted by the lively shadows of the dolls moving on the ground. He then found a palace maid whose profile was very much like Lady Li's, and he held up a curtain, asking the maid to imitate Li's motions so he could project her shadow onto the curtain with candlelight.
Another version of the story is that the minister sculpted a wooden figure in the likeness of Lady Li and projected shadow onto the curtain. The emperor was delighted when he saw his dead wife behind the cloth and gradually came out of depression. Whatever the true origin of shadow puppetry, according to historical records, the dramatic form was widely performed during the Tang Dynasty more than 1400 years ago. In the late 13th century, in the reign of the Yuan Dynasty, introduced shadow puppetry reached its heyday 300 years ago in the Qing Dynasty. Wei Province, Journey to the West, and White Snake Lady were some of the most famous dramas. They were even played in a series which was so in the same form as today's TV dramas. Such plays could be performed for more than 2 weeks. Series will pass down for generations in many rural families. Mao Zhongbo explains the reasons behind this popularity.
过去的话，因为那个时候可能一些娱乐呀，或者说这方面可能也比较少一些。Shadow puppetry brought joy and happiness to the people. Especially in times when there were few options for entertainment. Most of the stories are lonely and instructive, which encourages the big and gamblers, guiding the audience to the right path and preventing evil. was also a popular practice to invite
shadow puppeteers to perform at rural marriage ceremonies, funerals, and banquets.
都会请那个影戏艺人去给演戏。
In Mao Zhongbo's hometown in northeast China's Liaoning province, shadow plays were one of the most popular folk arts. Yet Mao was 19 years old when he saw his first puppet show, which happened to be Turtle and Crane.
我们那有一个文
It
化
was
馆
put on at a cultural center in my community. The name of the drama was Turtle and Crane. The animals in the play were as natural as if they were alive. It was so miraculous. Shadow puppetry is quite different from a live-action stage play. The puppeteers can create an amazing variety of visual effects using shadow and light, making the figures fly in the sky, dive on the ground, or even have their heads removed. You name it.
都能给表现出来。
Right from the start, from his very first experience of shadow puppetry, Mao was captivated. He decided to learn more.
我们学的是98年，电视上或者什么都已经皮影戏就。
In 1998, television and the cinema were very popular. Only a few artists stuck to shadow puppeteering, and most of them were in their old age. However, the cultural center still organized shows and offered training courses. I was out of work at the time. I decided to learn something. Driven by curiosity, I joined the shadow art class. I was among the first batch of students.
Shadow puppetry is a highly complex art form which combines various art forms including painting, carving, music, opera, and storytelling. It requires skills in playwriting, design and performing, as well as cutting techniques. It takes years for actors like Mao Zhongbo to pick up enough of the skills. A lot of them fell by the wayside when the going got tough.
At the very beginning, we practiced with a pair of chopsticks instead of using real puppets. Usually, a puppeteer uses one hand to manipulate two rods attached to the puppet's main body parts. After 2 weeks' practice, my hands were blistered up completely. At first, there were more than 10 students. Some quit after 3 months. Some learned other things. I was the only one who persevered until the end.
Mao finally got an opportunity to perform on stage. Even though it was a minor part in the play, he played it with gusto.
There are small figures supported with only one stick, such as a butterfly or a dragonfly. The puppetry is sacred to make it fly. Even so, I was excited to play the role. I focused all of my attention on the change of the music, waiting for my turn. Once the music was on, I quickly put the puppet behind the screen and removed it when the music stopped. It was exciting.
To make the motions look good, Mao Zhongbo spent a lot of time observing animals.
像我们
If you play a crane, you need to know how it behaves, how the cranes look, how do they drink water, what kind of sounds do they make. We went to the zoo or watched TV programs over and over again.
As well as finger manipulation, singing is one of the important factors important to a performance. The artists not only skillfully manipulate the figures using their hands, but also sing on the lyrics. However, Mao Zhongbo said, if performers are versed in the traditional singing methods these days, in many cases, what the audience hears is recorded music.
You're listening to Selfie. I'm Tony Reed. We've just been hearing about the whole Chinese shadow and some of the manipulation skills needed to pull it off. In the next episode, Master Mao Zhongbo shares his experience of puppet making. Stay tuned.
pigment, pressing and expelling moisture, and then final assembly.
It is these time-honored methods that demonstrate the complexity and originality of each of the puppets. Originally, the puppets were made out of wood. Later, they were made of leather from livestock, such as cattle, donkeys, and sheep, because the material is easier to manipulate and carry around. That's why people call it 皮影. It literally means leather shadow. Mao says the leather must be carefully selected and repeatedly polished. Fine and smooth enough. The artist traced the design drawings onto them, then
or with different blade widths as well as varying stiffnesses. Toe punches are also used to give the figures
eyes or decorate them. The carving technique is called carving with a moving leather, which demands a tricky balance between perfectly sharpened blades, perfectly supple leather, and a masterful hand. Mao explains.
推皮走刀的. The technique is popular in northwest China. It's called carving with moving leather. We put the hide on a wooden board. The left hand pushes firmly against the hide, guided, while the right grips the carving tool. The key point is that it is the leather, not the knife, that moves. You need to have good control of the left hand because the knife is very sharp. If you use too much force, it will make a breach on the hide. On the other hand, you can't cut it completely. It's not easy to put into practice.
Just like Peking opera, one of China's main traditional drama forms, shadow puppets also have four main role categories: Sheng, Dan, Jin, and Chou. These are male roles, female roles, painted roles, and clowns. There is also a color code for the figures, which reveals the age, profession, and personality of each character. Now give some examples.
The color black has become a symbol of fairness and impartiality. White represents treachery and cunning. The traditional colors painted on the puppets are black, red, and green. Actually, there are 5 colors. The light which comes through the cutout is naturally white, and yellow is the natural color of the leather. They look more yellow afterwards.
Often we apply Chinese wood color to them.
In the past, there was a much narrower range of color used, and they had to depend on available colored minerals within the wood. Now, many puppet makers use water colors with an adhesive to prevent fading. After the coloring phase, the shadow puppets are ironed to dry them out. So the color sinks into the leather and stays. Finally, the head,
Body and names of each so the puppeteer can manipulate it to make all kinds of movements. It takes 2 to 3 days.
It's the procedure, and the more time it will take.
两地里边还有一些就是装钉这些机关。To make the figures look more realistic, we usually design small mechanisms and fix them on the leather puppets during assembly. For example, the string mechanism comes into play to allow the crane to roll his eyes, open his mouth, or tilt his head. It's more difficult and time-consuming. It took me about half a month to finish the whole work.
You're listening to Selfie. I'm Tony Reed. We've been learning about leather puppet making from Mao Jianbo, an inheritor of Chinese shadow puppetry. Coming up, we find out what the shadow play master has done to revive the ancient art form.
As modern entertainment devices have become popular, shadow puppetry has gradually lost its appeal to the younger generation. Now, on low incomes, the craftsmen who make them are struggling to make a living. In 2011, China's shadow puppetry was added to UNESCO's Intangible Cultural Heritage list, thus injecting new vitality into the ancient art form. In the same year,